Hi everyone, welcome to Relatively Refined. My name is Patty. Well, it is another beautiful day. I'm beginning to sound like a broken record, and I'm okay with that because it's beautiful. And I thought I would check out a different place today. I'm going to go to my usual haunt, and I'm going to check out a different place, a little antique shop that is not far from where my typical thrift store is. So my charity thrift store is called Heavenly Scents, and next to it is, I think it's called Yankee Peddler. Well, not right next to it, but in the same town, both in Essex, Vermont. So I'm going to check them both out and see how it goes. So it's a beautiful day. Let's get going. And can we just take a minute to appreciate this beautiful foliage in front of Heavenly Scents thrift store? Really, Vermont is truly gorgeous this time of year. Well, it's been a few days since I went to Heavenly Scents thrift store in Essex, and that is in Essex, Vermont. And that is a haunt that I usually go on Tuesdays. That's sort of part of my regular routine. And I told you that I was going to try and go to a new shop called Yankee Peddler, also in Essex, in fact. So I did go there, and unfortunately, I didn't purchase anything, I didn't film, and I don't have a lot to tell you because when I arrived, the owner was actually getting ready to leave. And so I didn't want to rush her. She was super nice and very kindly said, the shop will stay open. You can go and look around. But I did not feel comfortable doing that. And to be perfectly honest, as is typical of me, I overscheduled things. When I assessed the amount of stuff at this place, I realized that I had given myself far too little time to work with. So in fairness to the owner and myself, I decided I need to come back another time. I will film, I will show you what's there. So it's going to be a good visit. I just need to plan accordingly. Okay, so let me show you what I picked up this week. I think this is all from Heavenly Scents. When you walk in, they have a free pile, and I always look through that because it's often a lot of books. And I picked up 3 free books that I am pretty happy with. I see these a lot at thrift stores for very cheap and often free, and they are the Southern Living Christmas books. These are an annual publication. So I think this is why you'll often see them in the free pile, is because there's a year on them, kind of like a periodical. This one is 2009 and the other one is 2008. It is Christmas with Southern Living. And I really, really love to grab these because they have great recipes. The style I find is very timeless and beautiful pictures. They'll have craft activities. And, like I said, it's not typically it's a very classic look. I find Southern Living to be a very classic look, but really I love the recipes in here and some nice decorating ideas here. And like I said, generally in free piles. And I think it's because of the year. I think that people think they're time sensitive and maybe think, who's going to want a 2009 Christmas book? Me. That's who. And in fact, in this one, I've already earmarked a page because there was a picture in here which I thought was beautiful. It reminded me of my sister Kathleen and myself. She loves urns. I don't know if you can see, but this was a very rustic looking urn with just some moss and berries put in that. I thought that was a really, really pretty potential centerpiece, or just a look that I thought she would love. So I did snag these 2. and they will go out on my end tables throughout the season, and I love to look through these. This next book I was super excited to find. I knew this was something special when I saw it. It is called Red I think, Treasury. And this is a collection of watercolors that were painted by this artist, Red I. And I'm really sorry about my French. I actually texted my sister, our sister-in-law, this is our brother's wife, youngest brother's wife, who is French, speaks French, and is a French teacher. So I'm like, okay, she's going to walk me through. And she actually recorded herself pronouncing this. And now that I've said it, I'm not sure I'm doing it right. So I'm really sorry, Jen, if you're watching. But I think she said it's Redute. And it is 468 watercolors from, then again, I had to ask her how to pronounce this, Les Liliaceae. So I think that is how you pronounce that. So when I put this on the table and leaf through, I'm going to tell you a little bit about this collection. I did not know anything. I had to do some research, and now I'm completely fascinated. So I think that is, oh no, there's more. There's more from the free pile. And it's just a little commemorative plate from Queen Elizabeth's Silver Jubilee. It's small, it's fluted. It is not of any value unless you collect some memorabilia from the royals, which I do not, but I am going to keep this because I think it is really sweet. I love the color. It's this sort of reddish orange color, so this will stay out for fall and the holidays. And it is Silver Jubilee on Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, 1952 to 1977. So this came home with me. I think it's really sweet, and who knows, maybe I will start my collection of royal commemorative plates, cups, etc. Now, oh, and there's more. Yet there's more. This was in the free pile. I took a chance. So there were these shoes in the free pile, and I have a pretty good eye for, I think, quality items in clothing and shoes and, in some homewares. So I knew these, I could feel how soft the leather was, and I do love a good wedge, and this color, dark green. I thought these shoes were super cute. Now, initially when I saw them, I thought, oh, I think those are small for me, but I thought, well, if they are, maybe my daughter will like that. I just couldn't leave them there. I figured I'll grab them. If they don't fit anyone or I can't give them away, then I will just redonate them. Anyway, they do fit me, and they are, it's European sizes, but these are an American, a US size 8. So they do fit me. They're deceiving because the wedge kind of comes almost like cantilevers here. So they look smaller than they actually are. They are from the brand Fly London. And when I looked these up, they're sold at Nordstrom, and they are on Zappos, and they're expensive. So new, these shoes are like around $200. Really nice leather. Now, I don't think they make this particular one anymore, but I just thought they were super adorable for fall in this pretty green color. They do have some damage. I'm going to get out my leather cleaner. I'm going to clean them up. I don't know about being able to color match this. So we'll see. It looks more dramatic in the camera because I'm actually holding them up to it, but down on your feet from the top, they're actually in quite good shape. And I would feel very comfortable once I clean them up. I would feel very comfortable wearing these out. So I'd say the quality of these shoes is similar to Born or Soft or Riker or maybe Dansko, just a nice, comfortable shoe with good support. And so yeah, check them out. The brand again is Fly London, and has this nice little fly emblem embossing there. Super nice quality. I think they'll be really cute this fall. I think that is officially it for the free items. Now the things that I actually paid for, which is less than the free items that I picked up. I picked up a piece of Garland. I'm not officially sure what this is supposed to replicate, but there are little berries on here. And it is a nice piece of Garland. I purchased one, thrifted one last year, which is on my kitchen table, and it is orange. I think I might have called it bittersweet, but it is not, in fact, bittersweet. I was corrected on that, but it kind of looks like that. It's an orange color. And typically around Halloween, I have a black pedestal plate and I put a white pumpkin and the orange garland around. Well, this year I opted for an orange pumpkin and a more traditional look on the black cake stand. And so I'm thinking, because right now the orange with the orange is kind of a lot. So I'm hoping this might tone it down a little bit. This is a more neutral, kind of like a hay color or honey color. So I'm going to try to swap it out and see if I like this a little bit better. This was $1, and I do love the way this looks. I also picked up for 50 cents this Harp for a lamp. They had two of these. I only picked up one because the second one was missing one of these on the bottom. But now I'm realizing that you don't really even see those, at least in my lamps that I have that use Harps. So if it's still there next week, I will splurge 50 cents and pick it up. If it's not, that's a lesson learned, really, sometimes. Anyway, this is a nice Harp. I know you can pick these up at hardware stores, Walmart, etc. But this one is really thick. It's nice. It has the nice chunky, I'll turn it around, brass finial on it. So these come in handy. If you thrift lamps, you know that sometimes the Harp is missing or damaged, or at the very least missing a finial. So I was happy to have this. I'll put it in my stash. In fact, I was thinking that I actually needed a Harp for one of the lamps I have downstairs. So I snagged this for 50 cents. I picked up a set of mugs. Do not need. Did I like them? Yes, ma'am. So I picked up a set of, it's marked $1, and it was for the pair of these really nice mugs. They are Royal Dalton. They look to have never been used or in perfect shape. And I do love to drink coffee out of a mug, like a big, nice mug. Now that it's getting colder here in Vermont, these mugs generally double as hand warmers, right? So the position that you take when you drink your coffee in the morning is, or, I will drink tea out of these too, is, you put your fingers in and you wrap your hands around. And this is what my parents, how they held their coffee cups. This is how I hold my coffee cups. Your cup has to double, or mug has to double as a hand warmer. So as much as I love petite teacups that you hold like this time of year, I am getting a hand warming exercise out of my mug. So it needs to meet the hand warmer test. And this one absolutely does. It's a really good size, not too big, not too small. This beautiful blue-gray color, and it has a Royal Dalton back stamp. Okay, and so here is the other one. Aren't these so nice? So here is the pair of these mugs. I just love them. They almost have a fiesta wear look to them. And the color is gorgeous. And they are made in England. So very happy to have a set of these for $1. I would very much like to have my coffee in those mugs tomorrow morning. And so let's head into the kitchen and make something for tomorrow morning's breakfast. Let's make baked oatmeal with apple and cinnamon. I was inspired to bake this after watching Kevin Lee Jacobs, who has a YouTube channel. You may watch him. He has a tremendous subscriber following on YouTube, and he's really, really great.
And when I watched Kevin's, I decided that, I have all of those ingredients, but I'm going to add a little twist. So he did an oatmeal blueberry bake, which I thought sounded fabulous. But I thought I would change it up a little bit. And since it is fall, I thought I would do apple cinnamon oatmeal bake. So I have changed that aspect of it. I will include a link to his website and his recipe. And I want to give him full credit for this because it was definitely his recipe. I'm just adding and deleting some things that I didn't have, and I wanted to make it a little bit more fall inspired.
So, oatmeal was one of our favorite breakfasts growing up on cold winter mornings. And one of my favorite flavors was apple cinnamon. I love the idea of an oatmeal bake. So you're baking it and cutting it into squares and rather than individual bowls. I thought that was a very clever way to serve oatmeal. Do keep in mind that this is oatmeal. This is not an apple crisp. So you're going to want to treat it like the blank canvas that it is. And in my opinion, the best part of oatmeal are the toppings. So if you have maple syrup or fresh fruit to put on top of it, I think it makes it even better. I am preheating my oven to 350 degrees, and then I am going to grease a 13 by 9 inch casserole dish. And you're going to start by combining the wet ingredients. You're going to need 5 large eggs. Go ahead and put them in a bowl and give them a good whisk. To that, you're going to add 3/4 of a cup of unsweetened applesauce. This is my homemade applesauce. It is far from unsweetened. There's actually quite a bit of sugar in that. However, in my opinion, it did not taste overly sweet once I baked it. And go ahead and whisk that. And then you're going to add 1 cup of whole milk, or honestly, the milk of your choice. I am using whole dairy milk. And then you're going to want to whisk in 1 cup of Greek yogurt. I am using a full fat Greek yogurt, but honestly, you could use whatever you like. And here is 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract going in. This is the vanilla extract my sister Paula made and gave to me. It is, in my opinion, the best of the best. And go ahead and whisk that all together. And then you're going to add to that 1/2 cup of honey. And here is a little trick. You may already know this, but if you go ahead and give your measuring cup just a little spritz of cooking spray, the honey or whatever sweetener you're using will not stick. I've used this trick with molasses, maple syrup, you name it. It's a great tip. So again, you're going to add 1/2 a cup of honey, whisk it right in. And now we're ready for the dry ingredients. You are going to stir in 6 cups of old-fashioned rolled oats. And then you're going to add 3 teaspoons of baking soda. And 3 teaspoons is 1 tablespoon, so you're going to see me just using my tablespoon for this. And that is, yes, that is a big container of baking soda, but it is in fact baking soda. I just generally use quite a bit of baking soda in my home, cleaning and so forth. So anyway, 1 tablespoon of baking soda, just go ahead and stir that in. And to this, I am adding 1 teaspoon of salt. And then because this is an apple cinnamon bake, I am adding just about a tablespoon of ground cinnamon. Go ahead and give that a stir. I am adding 2 large apples that have been washed, peeled, and diced. And after I spread that into the 13 by 9 pan, I'm going to bake it in a 350-degree oven for about 45 minutes. And while the oatmeal bake is in the oven, I thought I would clean up and put away some of the items so you can see how I have them styled. Okay, so this is the current centerpiece. Typically, I would have a white pumpkin on here, but I couldn't find one I loved. And I love the traditional orange pumpkin, and I know this one is a little small. And here I am just replacing it with this more muted color tone, and I actually like it much better. I actually really like this look. It's more natural, a little more pleasing on the eye. And here's just a view of it on my table. What do you think? Is it a bit of an improvement? I think so. Impossible to see because of the sun, but this really cute commemorative Queen Elizabeth commemorative Silver Jubilee plate is right here on my windowsill. I happen to be doing dishes, and so I just put my rings in it. Not sure it'll stay there, but it's really cute. My sister Paula sent me these Lenox plates. Aren't they so cute? There's, I think this might be a saucer and a bread and butter plate. And I love them. As you know, I use these as coasters. This gold rim is perfect for fall and heading into Christmas. And so I like to just put these around. This larger one would also be great to put a candle on. But right now I just have them here. So if I have a cup of coffee or tea, I can just put them down and use them. And I also wanted to point out that these vintage cards that I got and showed in a recent haul, look at the colors and look at the colors here. This and this, it's perfect. Just had to point that out. I wanted to tell you a little bit about this special book, a Red Day Treasury. And the text in this book is by Peter and Frances Mallory. A little bit more about them at the end. I'm going to read to you from the dust jacket, and I know that's not preferable, but I just feel like it's the only way to do it justice. Pierre-Joseph Redoute, often called the Raphael of flowers, is history's most famous botanical artist. Employed by the Empress Josephine to record the plants and flowers in her lavish gardens at Malmaison, Redoute began his masterpiece in 1802, Les Deliious, a set of 486 exquisite watercolors painted on vellum. The plates derived from the watercolors were published in an edition of only 200 copies. The original drawings, together with a copy of the printed text, passed after Josephine's death to her son, Prince Eugene de Beauharnais, Duke of Luxembourg. From there to an American art and book dealer in the 1930s, and finally in November of 1985 to Sotheby's in New York. In a 2-minute auction, the work fetched an incredible $55 million, the highest price ever paid for a book in America, and the 10th highest price ever paid for a work of art. The present edition, a unique contribution to the history of botanical illustration, reproduces the entire 468 watercolors known to survive from Les Deliious, thus conveying to posterity all the scientific and aesthetic brilliance of the originals. With great delicacy and in remarkable detail, Redoute captured the shapes and colors not only of the lily family, but of iris, amaryllis, tulips, even pineapple and bananas, plants that were difficult to press and dry for herbariums, thus making accurate illustrations an invaluable record. Redoute's paintings were executed in no particular order, but for this book they have been reorganized by genus and species, with botanical notes to them. Introductions to the sectional groupings are prefaced by a long essay on the history, provenance, and circumstances of this astonishing work. The publication of these paintings, which remarkably have survived intact for 170 years, seen by hardly anyone, will be a major event, confirming beyond doubt that Le Deliious is one of the greatest color plate books ever published, and that its creator, Red Day, is the greatest illustrator of flowers of all time. And I wanted to make special note that the text is from Peter Mallory and Frances Mallory. And Peter Mallory is an historian who lives in Vermont and has written books on New England houses and churches. And his wife, Frances Mallory, formerly an expert at Sotheby's on books and manuscripts, is an associate at the Dartmouth College Library. So there's a little Vermont and New England connection. And just to let you know that I have started a little Thanksgiving homage here on top of my corner cabinet in my dining room. I have my pheasants and that gorgeous transferware platter that I thrifted last year. After about 45 minutes, my baked oatmeal is done and smells exquisite. And I am serving it up with whipped cream and fresh raspberries. But more importantly, I am using my new mug that I thrifted and was part of my haul, so you can see that that is also being put to use. Okay, I'm doing the wraparound hand warmer test. Great. Now I'm going to give this a try. Really, really good. Fresh raspberries are the key. A little bit of tartness, delicious.
Well, it's not lost on me, and it certainly isn't lost on my sisters, that the holidays are approaching. And even though when this comes out, it is going to be very, very late October or very early November, it is not too soon to start thinking about some thoughtful gifts. My sisters and I are hoping to start a series called Thoughtful Gifts. And really, it's just each of us sharing, maybe at the end of a video or at some portion of the video, a thoughtful gift idea that you might incorporate or find some inspiration from. So what is a thoughtful gift? Well, I think we all know those people in our lives who they just always seem to nail it. They find the perfect gift, the most thoughtful gift. It's not the biggest, it may not be the most expensive, but it's just like, you really know me. You really, really get me. And that is kind of what we're going for. And I'm sorry I keep turning my head, but if I look at you directly, there's a huge glare. So maybe I'll just take my glasses off, because that's actually, and it really is an art form to find that perfect gift, that thoughtful gift. So my thoughtful gift idea today is anything personalized, monogrammed, or engraved with somebody's name or initials. I am fortunate enough to have a local woman who does monogramming. And so here's the set of towels that I just picked up for myself. Here are my initials. And I think a set of towels that is embroidered is a really fabulous, thoughtful gift. And like I said, I have a woman, local woman, who will do this. I just tell her the colors and she will embroider a set of towels, a couple of bath towels, a hand towel, and a face cloth with the initials on them. These make really great gifts because, first of all, who doesn't need a set of towels? But most importantly is the thought that goes into having it monogrammed. If you're not as fortunate as I am to have somebody local doing it. There are companies, large companies that will do this. I know LL Bean does monogramming. I know Pottery Barn does personalizing and monogramming. And even you can even find sources on Amazon and for sure Etsy who will do it. And I think it's just a nice way to show somebody that you were thinking really of them. Now, bear in mind, if you purchase something and have it monogrammed, it is not something that the person can return. So I try to stick to something that is very thoughtful, but also something that is very useful or rather generic, like towels, tote bags.
Last year, I thrifted this set of pewter napkin rings, and my husband took them to an engraver and had them engraved with our last initial. If you have a vintage piece, whether it is a napkin ring or some other special piece, you could also have that personally engraved as a thoughtful gift for somebody. So when searching for a thoughtful gift this year, you may want to consider having something personally monogrammed or engraved. Whether it is a new item or a family heirloom, it is sure to make someone feel very special.
So that's what I have for you today. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching this video. If you wouldn't mind and haven't done so already, please subscribe to our channel. And if you enjoyed this video, please like it by giving it a thumbs up. And as always, go ahead and leave us a comment. Is there anything in particular that I got here that you loved? Something that maybe you have enjoyed or you know anything about? If that book of botanical prints is familiar to you, or if that artist is, I would love to know about that in the comments. So that is what I have for you today. I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye now.